In everything that we do, we have to put into the consideration people at the grassroots level. We have to put into consideration, citizens. Every policy, every reform, every law has to make an impact from the very root of our society.
The government cannot do it alone. The society cannot do it alone. There should be a nexus between the community and the ICPC and the society in general. So that's why ICPC usually form a kind of a strategic partnership with relevant stakeholders.
Corruption is not just a government problem, it is a community problem, and more importantly, it requires community solutions. Hello and welcome to Transparency Files, ICPC's weekly television program. I am your host, Murna Barnabas Atiaye. Across Nigeria, the ICPC is empowering citizens through various initiatives to enable them take ownership of the fight against corruption right from their communities. These initiatives focus on engaging citizens, grassroots institutions, and local stakeholders in preventing and reporting corruption. They go beyond enforcement and emphasizes public participation, behavioral change, and transparency at the community level. Today on the program, we will be beaming our searchlight on community-based anti-corruption initiatives, which encourage citizens to take responsibility and monitor good governance in their locality in support of what ICPC is doing. Also coming up on the program is our youth segment and reports from our state offices. But first, let's join Ruth Awodi for updates on activities within the Commission. It's over to you, Ruth.
Welcome to this segment on anti-corruption stories. I am Ruth Awodi. ICPC has recorded a landmark judicial victory as the Supreme Court of Nigeria has affirmed the conviction and sentence of 3 individuals in appeal, thereby bringing to a definite close a protracted legal battle spanning over a decade. The Apex Court, in a unanimous judgment, upheld the earlier decisions of both the High Court of Ogun State and the Court of Appeal Ibadan Division, affirming the conviction of the appellant and dismissing the appeal for lacking merit. The case originated from the conviction of one Mr. Yusuf Temilade alongside 2 other defendants, Adeyemi Alaba Samuel and Amulodun Tosin, who were non-academic staff of Tar Sholarin College of Education, Omo Ijebu, Ogun State, and members of the Executive Committee of the institution's non-academic staff union, NASU. The defendants held key positions as chairman, secretary, and acting treasurer of the union and were entrusted with the management of union funds. Investigations by ICPC reveal that sometime in 2011, the union secured a loan facility of approximately 68 million naira from a commercial bank for disbursement to about 120 staff members. However, the defendants abused their positions by diverting funds, drawing amounts in excess of approved limits, and facilitating payments to individuals who were not staff of the institution. Following a petition and subsequent investigation, ICPC charged the defendants with conspiracy and abuse of office by conferring corrupt advantage on themselves and others, contrary to Section 19 of the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act 2000. The defendants were arraigned before the High Court of Ogun State, sitting in Abeokuta, on a 7-count charge. During the trial, the prosecution called witnesses and tendered documentary evidence establishing the culpability of the accused persons. On June 13, 2017, the trial court delivered judgment convicting the defendants on counts 1, 2, 3, 5, and 7 and sentencing them to 5 years imprisonment with the sentences to run concurrently. Dissatisfied with the judgment of the trial court, the appellant approached the Court of Appeal Ibadan Division. On December 6, 2019, the appellant court, in a majority decision, affirmed the conviction and dismissed the appeal for lacking merit. Still aggrieved, the appellant further appealed to the Supreme Court. After hearing arguments from both parties on January 22, 2026, the Supreme Court, in its judgment delivered on April 17, 2026, unanimously affirmed the decisions of the lower courts and dismissed the appeal. In its landmark decision, the Supreme Court clarified the scope of who qualifies as a public officer under the ICPC Act, holding that individuals cannot evade accountability by operating under the guise of union or cooperative society leadership. With this final determination by the Supreme Court, all legal issues arising from the case have been conclusively resolved, marking the end of approximately 11 years of litigation. That will be all on this segment. Transparency Files continues with Murna. Stay with us.
Fellow Nigerians, do you know that constituency projects are actually your projects? Do you know that constituency projects are funded by the federal government? Do you know that you can track release of constituency project funds for projects located in your constituency and follow up to know how they have been executed? Constituency projects happen because government does not want to leave any community out in development efforts. You have a responsibility to know what constituency project has been planned for your community, how much has been allocated for it, and whether value for money has been delivered. Take ownership of constituency projects located in your community. Protect them because they belong to you. Government knows about your needs and is planning for you. Government needs your help to ensure quality delivery. Know that constituency projects are actually your projects. Protect your constituency project. My constituency, my project.
For information on funds allocated to projects in your constituency, call 0800 2255 4272.
This message is from the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission and the National Orientation Agency.
You're still watching Transparency Files. The civil society organizations are a very strong force in checking governance at the grassroots level, in executing its constituency and executive project tracking initiative. ICPC collaborates with civil society organizations, community leaders, professional bodies, and the media to monitor government-funded projects across the country. Community members are encouraged to report abandoned or poorly executed projects, thereby ensuring that public funds are utilized effectively. This initiative has significantly enhanced transparency and accountability in project implementation, especially in rural areas. To tell us about this partnership and its impact on communities, we have Basheba Togwe. She is a Senior Program Manager, Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, CISLAC. Let's take a listen.
In everything that we do, we have to put into the consideration people at the grassroots level. We have to put into consideration, citizens. Every policy, every reform, every law has to make an impact from the very root of our society. And most times when these things happen, we concentrate on the big cities, we concentrate in the capitals, but those people at the grassroots are more impacted even by corruption. You go to a lot of our communities, there are no roads, access roads. They don't have clean water supply. There's no electricity. They are even so far from the government at the federal level. And so a lot of things, they are deprived of a lot of things. And then even the level of awareness is very, very low. So people don't even know how to begin to even speak out or fight for their rights or where to go to, and all of that. And so it is good that in our interventions that we start from those at the grassroots, we empower them, so that when change and reforms begin to happen at that level, it grows, to the national. Because at the end of the day, those are the people that are most impacted by whatever action we take, whatever policies that are created, they are most impacted. CISLAC's partnership with ICPC has been very, very impactful. It has been it has been a very strong partnership, and we've enjoyed years of working relationship with ICPC, collaborating, partnering, and on quite a number of our projects. Even though CISLAC does not work directly on constituency projects, but then we have had initiatives that have taken us to the community level, where we have had to partner with ICPC, especially for sensitization, at the grassroots level under our Impact project. So the Impact project was basically just get towards fighting corruption, encouraging citizens to speak out and to report acts of corruption, and also educating them on their rights, their responsibilities, and appropriate channels to report corruption. And then through our Advocacy and Legal Advice Center, which is, of course, an avenue that CISLAC has provided for victims and witnesses of corrupt practices to come forward and report, and when they report us, because most times a lot of citizens are not very comfortable or confident enough to come directly to anti-corruption institutions. So civil society is like that bridge. And so through this center, they come to us and then report these instances of corruption that you mentioned, whether it's constituency project, whether it's administrative corruption happening in their communities. And then for those who have petitions already, we look at their petition, we provide the necessary legal advice, professional legal advice, and then we help to forward their petitions to organizations such as the ICPC. So that is what we do through the ALAC. And so when we're carrying out sensitization on the Advocacy and Legal Advice Center, which is ALAC, ICPC was also there with us, to also further educate citizens. And also we had what we call mobile ALACs, and representatives from ICPC were there. That's on ground for people who were seeking advice or who had a report to make on the spot. So ICPC was there with us to also provide that kind of service to citizens.
Welcome back. In addition to project tracking, ICPC conducts widespread public enlightenment and sensitization campaigns. These programs are carried out in local communities, schools, religious centers, and marketplaces. They aim to educate citizens on their rights, the dangers of corruption, and the available channels for reporting corrupt practices. More insights on the national ethics and integrity policy, community awareness, and efforts to build integrity at the grassroots are highlighted here. Mr. Jimoh Sulahimon is a Deputy Director in ICPC. He explains further.
In the fight against corruption, I think it's a collective responsibility. The government cannot do it alone. The society cannot do it alone. There should be a nexus between the community and the ICPC and the society in general. So that's why ICPC usually form a kind of a strategic partnership with relevant stakeholders. So one of the initiative of the commission is, first of all, the constituency and executive project tracking initiative. This is the initiative of the ICPC to further allow the people to participate in ensuring transparency and accountability. How do we do it? ICPC involves the relevant stakeholders to track government-funded projects. And while tracking government projects, the people at the grassroots that are more concerned are involved, such that when ICPC officials are going to the grassroots, they are involved. We take them along. We show them the project that we are tracking. So whatever infractions that we found on such projects, we let them know. More often than not, either we recover huge funds on those projects that either were shoddily done or were not done at all. We recover such money to government covers. Those projects, again, that we felt that, okay, the contractor should go back to site, we force the contractor to go back to site. And we now involve the grassroots people, the people at the community, to help us in monitoring such projects. Then, aside from that, ICPC also has the National Anti-Corruption Coalition. This is the umbrella body for CSO, NGOs that are relevant to the fight against corruption. We train them, we bring them on board on what they should be doing with regards to fighting corruption. Aside from that, there's what we call national ethics policy. This one has 7 core values, and these 7 core values are what everybody is expected to imbibe in. The most important to me is what we call the voice and participation. This is where the people at the community are given the voice to ask questions. They are given the voice to monitor projects. They are given the voice to submit petitions against whatever infraction they detect in their local community. For example, let me go back again to corruption, and let me go back to constituency and executive project. They have wonderfully helped us in tracking government projects. They have helped us in this regard, such that when we get to a project site, maybe we spend 3 or 4 days, we come back to our various states, Abuja, at the headquarters, Lagos, or whatever. It is these community-based people that will eventually be telling us what has transpired after we left the field. So importantly, voice and participation means that the community people, the local people have the voice to complain. They have the voice to tell their leaders. We call it social contract or social development. They ask whoever their leader is, either a senator, House of Representative member, what have you done with regards to this project? Or what project have you brought to our local community that you have put in the budget? If the projects are not well executed, they ask them. So it is they have all this nexus in asking pertinent questions with regards to how the community is being run. And this also brings what we call good governance to the local community.
Thank you for staying with us. Young people can play a key role in fighting corruption by promoting integrity and accountability in their daily lives. By refusing to engage in dishonest practices, they help set a positive example for others. We spoke to some of our youths on how they are staying informed and actively participating in their communities to help build a more transparent and corruption-free society. Let's take a listen.
I would say that every form of corruption, little or big, bites into the future of Nigeria as a whole. So we as young, strong, and vibrant, we have a very vital role to play when it comes to eliminating corruption, whether small or big. The little act of saying no to bribery, little act of saying no to certain things that will harm the nation's growth is what I would say that begins with anti-corruption. That's when the moment you start fighting corruption.
Our role, most especially, is standing out, being the one that will make the change. Because corruption, per se, is now resident in the youths, in quotes, in the sense that the most cases of cyber crimes coming from the youths, most cases of malpractice coming from the youths. And the moment we be the one to bring that sensitization, that, okay, this is actually not good, this is actually not good. It will help to spread the narrative to the whole others that needs to know the dangers of engaging in corrupt practices.
People need to learn to be assertive in the sense that when your yes is yes and your no is no, you get. So like if someone tells you to do something, sometimes people, they have what they want to do and then they have what they have to do, allegedly. So like when people are telling you, oh, do this, do that, and all of that, if you're aware that you shouldn't do this or you don't want to do this, I think having the guts to say no helps you stand out and also avoid, doing it in the end.
I am a Nigerian, a highly cultured race. My culture abhors corruption, and with my integrity, a new Nigeria is possible. I say no to corruption today to build a future for my children. Join me and imbibe the culture of integrity to build a Nigeria of our dreams.
And before we go, let us connect with our state offices for updates from around the country. Phoenix Apolaha is standing by to guide us through the latest happenings.
From Oyo State comes a report. ICPC Oyo State Office reinforced its commitment to fighting corruption by strengthening partnerships with academic institutions during a courtesy visit to the University of Ibadan. Led by resident anti-corruption commissioner Chile Ogwegbu, the delegation highlighted the importance of universities in shaping future leaders and promoting integrity. The ICPC emphasized that collaboration with tertiary institutions is key to building a transparent and corruption-resistant society. Coming from Sokoto State, the ICPC Sokoto State Office conducted a sensitization program for members of the NYC CDS group at the Federal Government College, Sokoto, aimed at strengthening their role in anti-corruption advocacy. Represented by Deputy Superintendent Yusuf Kabiru, the commission emphasized grassroots engagement and encouraged core members to promote integrity and ethical values within their communities and places of primary assignment. And from Kogi State comes a report. ICPC Kogi State Office carried out a sensitization program for staff of the Corporate Affairs Commission aimed at strengthening anti-corruption awareness within public institutions. Led by Monir Muhammad, the team delivered a lecture on the role of civil servants in combating corruption, highlighting its impact on national development and the need for collective actions.
Thank you for staying tuned. ICPC's community-based initiatives reflect a shift from a poorly enforcement-driven model to a more inclusive, preventive, and participatory approach. By empowering citizens, strengthening local institutions, and promoting ethical values, the Commission is laying the foundation for a more transparent and accountable society. Corruption thrives in silence, but transparency begins with you. Together, through community action, awareness, and accountability, we can build a nation where integrity is the standard, not the exception. That's it for today's edition of Transparency Files. For more information on the activities of the Commission, please visit www.icpc.gov.ng and follow us on social media at ICPC Nigeria. Join us again same time next week. My name is Murna Barnabas Atiai. Bye for now.